If you've got diabetes, social events can feel like a trap. It might be a restaurant where the bread basket lands and you're scanning the menu like it's an exam, or a barbecue where everything comes with a bun, a sauce, and people check in what you've had to eat. Maybe a coffee shop where it's somehow harder to say no to the cake than it is to order the coffee. And here's the deal. I don't want you avoiding meals out, barbecues, birthdays, or holidays. I want you to have a life and keep your blood glucose steady. So this video is all about showing you exactly what to do before, during and after a social event so you can enjoy it without the glucose roller coaster. My name is Nerys, I'm a GP and I specialise in helping people improve blood glucose and reverse type 2 diabetes with practical strategies that actually work in real life. So by the end of this video, you'll know what to eat first to blunt that spike, how to handle the dessert situation without drama, and what to say when people comment, and of course a few emergency moves for when the menu is basically carbs on carbs. So let's go. The first and most important thing is this. Number one, don't arrive starving. If you arrive anywhere ravenous, you will not make calm, sensible choices. You'll make urgent choices. And then you'll tell yourself that you've got no willpower, but actually you were just hungry. So here's the rule. Take the edge off before you go. Not a full meal, just a preload so you're not walking in on empty. So pick one 30 to 60 minutes before you arrive. Either a bowl of salad with olive oil, cheese or chicken, Greek yogurt with a few berries, maybe 2 boiled eggs, protein shake if you're out and about. This one move can change a lot because you go from reacting to choosing. And no, it really doesn't have to be big. It isn't eating twice or ruining your night out. Think of it, if you like, as lining your stomach. Because when you have a little protein, fibre or healthy fat first, you basically put in a buffer in place. It can slow down how quickly glucose hits your bloodstream. So you're not walking into a restaurant on empty and then getting taken out by the bread or the crisps or the sugary drink before your main even arrives. Now, you might be thinking, hang on, doesn't that defeat the object of going out? Well, no, because the object of going out isn't to arrive starving to lose control. The object is to enjoy yourself. And if you're so hungry you'll eat everything in sight, you probably won't enjoy, especially afterwards. You might feel regretful and annoyed with yourself. So it's just a small, quiet move that gives you options. You still eat out. You still get to have a nice meal. You're just not letting hunger make the decisions for you. So let's talk about what to do once the food actually arrives, because the order you eat your food can actually make a difference as well. So if you take one rule into every restaurant, barbecue, breakfast or family buffet, make it this: that you eat the protein first, the vegetable next, and the carbs last. Not because carbs are evil, not because you're punishing yourself, but it's one of the simplest ways to flatten the glucose curve without turning your life into this spreadsheet. So how does that work? Well, if you start with protein and fibre, you slow the whole digestive process down. You basically put in speed bumps in place so glucose doesn't hit your bloodstream like a tidal wave. What this looks like in real life? Let's use a restaurant as an example. So start with the protein on the plate, then the vegetables. If there are chips or bread, rice, potatoes, just eat them afterwards, if at all. And here's the sneaky bit. When you eat in this order, you often find you naturally want less of the carby stuff. Not because you're being good, but because you're actually satisfied. So let's go on to talk about the part that catches almost everybody out. Because it's usually not the main meal that causes the chaos, it's what comes next, the dessert problem. So let's think about how to handle it without being seen as weird. So let's just say it plainly. Dessert is where the wheels come off. Not always because we're out of control, but because it is social, it's shared, it's pushed, it's framed as fun, and it's often the moment when you're already a bit full, a bit relaxed, maybe you've had a drink, and your guard will drop. So just a few practical strategies that might help. Pick one, don't overthink it. Strategy A then. Decide before you're in the moment. If you know dessert is your weak spot, decide early. You could say, I'm not having dessert tonight. Or, I'm having dessert, but I'm choosing the one that will actually help me or that I actually want. Because I see how I feel usually turns into I'll eat half of everybody else's. You could choose strategy B, which is the 2 proper bites rule. If you want, have it, get it, but just take 2 slow, deliberate bites and really enjoy them, then stop. So the most of the pleasure is actually in the first few mouthfuls anyway. After that, you're just chasing the taste while your blood glucose pays the price. Strategy C, share it on purpose. Not as a sad compromise, as a tactic. Let's share one. You still get the experience, the social part of it, but without the full hit. And strategy D, swap the ending. You could go for coffee with cream, cheese, berries and cream, a few squares of dark chocolate, and that can still feel like a treat. Less chaos afterwards. But of course, the real problem is other people, because it's not just the food, it's the comments. And I hear this a lot from people. What should you say when people comment? And it's a big one, because food is not just food, is it? It's culture, it's bonding, it's belonging. And humans are basically tribal animals. We're wired to try to fit in, to go along with a group, to not be difficult. So when somebody offers you cake or tops up your plate or says, go on, it can feel weirdly hard to say no, even when you know it doesn't help you. So the first thing I want you to notice is this, that it's normal, but you don't have to obey that instinct. Now, the first practical tip is not to over-explain. Over-explaining turns it into a discussion, and you don't really need a committee meeting discussing your pancreas. You're not asking permission. You're making a choice. So you could try saying, oh, I know you mean well, I'm just trying to keep things steady. If I have that, I'll pay the price for it later, so I'm going to pass. Or you could just say with a smile, I'm being boring on purpose today. Just say it once, then move on. Ask them a question, compliment the food, change the topic, go to the toilet, talk to somebody else. You don't need to stand there defending yourself. Keep it boring. Keep it moving. So here's your plan. Use it on repeat. Don't overcomplicate it. Number 1, preload before you go out. It is powerful, it's optional. If you're going somewhere with unknown food, don't arrive starving. Have small protein salad, yogurt, anything so that hunger doesn't make the decisions. Number 2, eat in this order. Protein first, vegetable next, carbs last. And that one rule will save you in restaurants, buffets, barbecues, or coffee shops. Number 3, decide your dessert strategy before dessert arrives. Either you're not having it, you're sharing it, or you're having a couple of proper bites and stopping. There's less accidental sugar fests at the end. And the 4th, of course, is have 1 to 2 phrases ready for comments. Don't over-explain, don't debate, keep it boring, keep it moving. And if you do have a meal that's higher carb than you planned, don't turn into a spiral. You don't need a fresh start. You just need your next choice to be a good one. So managing diabetes in social situations isn't about being perfect. It's about having a few simple moves that keep you steady so you can go out, you can enjoy life, and stop feeling like food is ruining your show. So if you found that helpful, tell me in the comments, subscribe to this channel, and I shall see you in the next video.